Hello and good evening. Welcome everybody on today's webcast. I'm here with the founder and CEO of Utopian Global, Bill Rowell. Hello, Bill. How are you?
Great, Claudia. Great to be here. Welcome to everyone joining us from many parts of the world.
Thank you so much. It's great to have you here. Now we have tonight a special webinar. In fact, I believe Ryan Messer's coming on board as well, maybe even with Randall Eddington. Let's see, but we're going to give you some great updates on what really has happened since the launch of the STORh token. So it's going to be really exciting. But we also, of course, have a lot of new people on the call, so we got to address as well a little bit of the presentation and, of course, what Utopian Global is about. But yes, lots of updates, and the updates are going to come soon. So enjoy the webinar. Hopefully we're going to get some great feedback from you guys, and it's going to be really interactive. So have your questions ready and type them into this channel, into this box, which you have on your, I believe, right side on your computer screen. So let's have a good webinar. And let me get started here with, of course, Utopian Global plus STORh, the power of investment in a better future. I believe that is what everybody wants. We all want to have a better life. In order to have a better life or better lifestyle, well, what do we need? We do need to have a better income. And of course, what we do here at Utopian Global, together with STORh, is really, talking or really taking care of this huge financial and environmental reality which we are living in today, and that is an imbalanced global financial system. Certainly a crippling wealth concentration. There's more people on the poorer side and lesser in the middle class, and of course more people as well getting rich. So the gap is widening as we speak all the time, and we do have a declining global currency purchasing power. You can really look at any currency, paper currency that is not gold or silver, and you can see a decline happening. That means less purchasing power. We do have rising government debt all over the world. It doesn't matter where you look. Most of the governments are actually in huge debt, some more than others. And we do have a global plastic crisis, meaning a lot of plastic in the oceans, on the earth, everywhere, more consumed, obviously, more plastic produced, because we have more people living on the earth. And so that is affecting of course, our environment. And we do have a higher global resource consumption, meaning we need more and more energy as, of course, the population is growing. So those are realities which we do have, and this is all what Utopian Global and STORh is actually helping to solve. So what if you could actually counter grim financial realities and address environmental damage and the energy crisis while also boosting your income? Well, exactly what we do. Real assets, real income, real lifestyle. That's what we provide you. A better way to counter today's financial pressures and environmental crisis, meaning growing your income, what we all need, securing your assets, owning assets, helping you really become an owner of real tangible assets. And of course, therefore, face the future with confidence. Don't we all want to have that, to be not so worried about what is to come, and certainly to leave a legacy for the people behind. So a unique system to earn through investment in income producing energy assets via STORh. STORh is headed up by Ryan Messer and Randall Eddington. They're going to talk a little bit more about it, and we're going to talk a lot in this update coming in the next few minutes. Safeguard your wealth by saving in precious metals. That's what Bill Rowell, our founder and CEO of Utopian Global, is going to talk about it. And this is really what the company is based on since its initiation in 2008 on precious metals. And now you can just open any news, any newspaper, television, radio, you hear it all over. Gold, silver, the currency wars, trade wars. So certainly it's a very important subject. and market our products and boost your income. I'm going to talk about it at the end of this presentation, how you actually can earn through marketing our products and services, and therefore benefit from proven wealth strategies and business ownership with legal tax benefits. Again, professional wealth management advice in your specific jurisdiction is recommended. But let's get into the latest update. And I know and I appreciate you guys, you're listening in early hours in Australia. And I have good news for you. We're working on the schedule that you don't have to wake up that early anymore. So we're working on a weekly call schedule that we can really serve Australia, New Zealand, Asia time zones. So you can sleep a little bit more in. But we have lots of folks from Australia, from down under, but also from New Zealand and parts of Asia on the call. So we really appreciate that you woke up so early, and for some of you in the middle of night. And of course, all the other people from all around the world. Let's get into that latest update. As you know, this August 1st, you saw the email coming out. STORh equity platform settled on the Texas-based Raccoon Bend oil field, and this is actually an image, a shot, a group shot with some of the leaders who did fly out to see it, to stand on the ground, to actually see if it's real or true. Well, finally, of course, we can say since the 1st of August, we actually settled on that assets, meaning it is producing income. And for that, I would like to have, if on the call, Ryan, otherwise Bill, to maybe tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Ryan and Randall are still in meetings at Houston. I think they know the call is on, so I think they'll come in maybe in the next 20-30 minutes, but they'll certainly be on the call, I believe. Okay, well, this picture here does not represent what really Raccoon Bend is. It's one particular well, whereas the asset itself, as many people on this call realize, it's 3,000 hectares, 3,000 hectares approximately, which is 5,600 acres of land area, over 90 producing wells, which is about 800 barrels per day, oil, and there's also natural gas there. And as the update also said, we're in the process of doing drilling. Now, this asset, Ryan's been following this for 6 to 7 years, been following this asset a long time. He knows the geologists, he knows the engineers on this particular site. He knows the owners have been engaged in this for many, many years, and two of the older owners, now in their 80s, have now liquidated out of this particular asset. It was quite a complex deal. Hence, it took quite a time to actually settle. We did not settle earlier in the year when we anticipated. It took all the way through until the 1st of August until we settled. But great news, we own it. Over 80% of ownership is actually by industry insiders, such as people in the oil and gas industry, geologists, engineers. The Catholic Church Retirement Fund owned a percentage in it, and we bought 12% in it. So we are an owner, you are an owner in this huge, massive asset that's been producing for many decades. And the audited reserves reports show that it's going to be producing for a couple of decades into the future. Now, we bought it at a good price, but of course what we want to do is add value to it now. It's all about adding value, not just buying the production. So what Claudia's put up here is that we settled on the 1st of August. When we had our board meeting in America, Ryan and the team signed off the authorization to contribute to 4 drillings actually. We've completed one that was very successful. Ryan will probably come on the call and speak about that later on, as he knows the ins and outs of this, from his professional point of view. But from what I understand, it was 60 feet, multiple intervals, and it was actually better than expected what they achieved from this particular drill. And the whole idea is, of course, now we bought this asset, we want to add value because we need to be able to take the token value from where it was. We need to be able to increase it. How do you increase the token value? We do that by adding asset value. And so we bought this at a price, and now we're adding value to this asset, and this asset has quite a bit of opportunity to increase the asset value. And for stage 1, between now and the end of the year, between really September, August, we did 1 drilling, was successful. There's 4 more to be completed between now and the end of this year, with the whole idea to increase the revenues by 20%. Now, when you think about this, of course, we're increasing the reserves, or the ability to tap into the reserves, by 20%. increase, that's going to increase the revenues over, you know, over maybe 20 years life cycle of this particular asset. So compounded out over that time, it adds significant value to the asset price, and that's why Ryan also said that the token price will increase by 20%, and we'll touch on that a little bit later, and based on this drilling here. And that will happen on, I think it's the last day of September, and then I anticipate later in the year again we'll have another increase as these other wells are completed and we see the success of them. Based on the numbers that they achieve, I will determine what they increase the asset value. And that's primarily where we are right now with STORh, is that we have to increase the asset value. Pretty logical, very logical thing. How do we increase the asset value? Well, just by keep buying assets and adding value to them, like we've just done with STORh. What Claudia's put up here, there's been a lot of confusion about package price and the wholesale equity token price. Now, when the token lists, and we're planning to list, the target date is at the end of 2020, not far away actually. In fact, we only settled on the 1st of August, so it doesn't give us a lot of time, 18 months probably, to be able to list the token, anticipated for the end of the year. And we need to be able to add value to that. Now, when we list the token price, it's obviously going to be the STORh price. The STORh price, which is the money being allocated to STORh. That is really the asset value. A lot of confusion over this between package price and STORh price. So if you bought a package, regardless of what package you actually bought, you paid a package, you got X number of actually tokens. So, you know, you paid out, there was commissions paid out, there were some fees taken there as well to UtopianGlobal. You don't get a return on that per se. That's part of the affiliate program. By choice, you buy those particular packages, but it doesn't matter, it's relative. If we're listing it, our target price to list is at €4. Well, from 4 euros is our target. If you bought at the package price now is €1, well, it's 4x on the money. If you bought it, at actually when it was at, it was 50 cents before that. I think before that was 25 cents. You've done exception. There's many multiples to be made on this particular asset. So that's where the confusion is. So don't get caught up between. We just have to. It was in the white paper. It was declared in the white paper. A lot of people don't read the white paper, of course. But because we also changed the white paper, because we introduced the quantum packages, which was for the investors, where up to 98% of the funds taken in are allocated to STORh, which is awesome. And of course, the more assets, the more money we get allocated to STORh, it's going to benefit everyone. In fact, the person that bought the €99 package is going to benefit big time by the money coming from institutional and high net investors, because most of their money is going to STORh, which is going to increase the STORh asset value. So that's really what that is about. It sounds confusing. It is confusing a bit, but just keep it simple. The list price is the money allocated to STORh, and we're going to be listing at €4, which is a fantastic return on the money. Our target for that is 2020. And how do we do that? This is just not talk, but building the balance sheet of the company up. How do we build the balance sheet asset value of the company up? By buying assets, by adding value, as we're doing right now. Now, Ryan, I think, has come onto the call, and I know he's had a busy meeting in Houston with Randall. But maybe, are you there, Ryan? Maybe you'd like to come in and just touch on this particular point right now.
Hi, how are you? Can you see me at all? I don't even know if you can see me.
No, we cannot.
We hear you, Ryan. Hi, Randall.
Randall's behind me somewhere. I don't know how to share my screen or share my face. So I don't know what to do, but I'm happy to answer any questions you got, because I'm on my mobile phone.
Okay, well, primarily what we're talking about, Ryan, thanks for taking the time to join us. I know you're just out of a meeting there in Houston, and you're there with Randall, who heads up, of course, the midstream operation, and also doing a lot of the research and chemical reports for the plastics to fuel, which is really exciting. We're just talking about Raccoon Bend, of course. What's gone on there, that you've actually signed papers for 4 drillings. You've done 1 drilling, which is paying 58, which is very successful. Maybe you want to just touch on the success of that first drilling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the data in front of me, but it was a highly successful well. I mean, we actually had a lot more pay than we anticipated in the well. So it's one of those wells that'll produce for a very long time. So we've got 2 more wells I believe we're going to drill before the end of the year. So a lot coming up, but essentially that's right. Adding reserves and adding cash flow is really the main driver behind why we're revaluing the company, and just sort of everything else that we're doing, including the plastics to fuel and the midstream side. And of course, Ecuador is moving along quite promising as well. So a lot of things are sort of driving us to look at revaluing the price of the token. And so that, I think that's why we're making the adjustment, really is based on that revaluation.
Yeah, I touched that just before you came onto the call, Ryan, and I said this adjustment of price is 20%, and will take place at the end of this particular month. And when these other drillings are completed later throughout the year, this year 2019, the assessments made upon their success and numbers, which will compound it over the next couple of decades, you'll then make another adjustment to price as well. Correct?
Yes, that's right. I mean, we look at it about every 30 days. We look at kind of where we're at as a company, and we're adding value and making accretive transactions for the company. That's the plan, right? Is to increase the value of the company over time as we raise capital as well, and it increases the market cap. So we're looking to take it from where we're at today, and at least 5 times is what we're looking at before we list, and I think we'll get a multiple on listing as well.
Yes, and I mean this gets quite complex, but primarily I just spoke about quite a few people got confused with the mixing up between, not mixing, but the confusion between, of course, the store price, which would be the listing price, and of course the package price. But primarily the listing price is the funds that have been raised to set the store. And any commissions and fees deducted out of that. So the package price currently is €1. That's going to go to 120. And of course, we're looking at listing at a minimum of €4, and plus we're going to have these increases plus what's going on there currently. So people who have bought in now and will even buy in now are going to do exceptionally well. And of course, the main focus is 100% now is to keep having success in building this asset value, which takes time, of course, Ryan.
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you think about when the first group got in, it's already done 400%. If you think about the price that they originally bought in at, so I mean, we've already had a lot of advancements in the company, have increased the value of the company quite a bit, and I get the question a lot. How are you going to take it from where you're at today to $100 million valuation? Well, I mean, the plastics alone, and plus the capital that we raise, obviously we're going to have to issue quite a few more tokens to do that. So that increases essentially the market capitalization of the company. But I mean, we're anticipating getting a multiple when we list on an exchange. And if you look at, and we haven't really announced much on this yet, but taking Peru, but Ecuador is a very similar project. It's much more near term. Just based on those valuations, we should be able to achieve that type of those types of valuations. So it's not pulled out of thin air, and obviously it is going to be a slightly moving target. We're not going to hit it on the nose. We may come in slightly under, we may come in slightly over, but all we can do is kind of look at the market and make the best investment decisions that we can make. And people shouldn't get wrapped around an axle on how to necessarily calculate that now, because again, these are projections. And so if you like the projects that we're in, if you think that what we've created is low enough risk, existing production that'll be around for 30 plus years, and you like our initiatives around plastics to fuel, and on the mining side, going after tailings and heap leaches that, we have 8 to 10 grams per ton, and this stuff's just sitting literally on the ground and just needs to be processed. All it takes is capital and a little time. If you like those projects, then get involved now, because the price will only move northward, north from where we're at today. and I think you're going to do very, very well. And at that point that when we list, you know, we're anticipating on, if not sooner, to be able to do distributions or dividends, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, and I think the great takeaway there is a couple of things. One is, of course, is that these are real assets we're buying. This is not the valuation to the token. It's not just like you wake up this morning feeling good, so you think you're going to increase the token price. It's based on real asset value. And my experience going back 16 years with the assets involved in the energy fund was a similar thing. It takes time to build this asset value, but if you're patient, you give us some time and breathing space. Next 12 months, it's going to fall into place very, very strong. We have a lot of interest in us, and maybe you want to tell us about. We saw you put your announcement out regarding, you know, the ability to take in US money for institutional investors, Ryan, which is going to be a significant benefit for all store owners.
Sure. Yeah, this is something we've been working on for about 4 months now. I met the group when I was out in LA at an investment conference, and they expressed a lot of interest. They shared our white paper with some institutional buyers, and the institutional group came back and said they're very interested in what we've done, what we put together. It's probably one of the better white papers they've seen, and they wanted to help us raise capital in the United States for accredited or high net worth investors under what's called Reg D or Regulation D offering. So we're working on the due diligence now. So we're collating all the data and information, and so we can put it in a package form for the US market. Of course, we've already done a lot of the heavy lifting, so it's just making sure that it's meets the criteria for institutions and high net worths, and then we'll be able to go after the US market for investment capital. So, and I think we're going to have a lot of success there. There's a lot of interest in what we're doing, and I'll be presenting STORh on October 3rd in San Diego at a big investment conference.
No, truly exciting, and for people, as I said earlier on this particular call, you know, for all the people, you know, we're going to Africa, end of this week. It doesn't matter if you have a €99 package or you come in with 100,000 euros, you all own the same, primarily the same store. But this money coming in, this institutional money, in one sense, coming in, is going to be a great benefit for all store owners, because it means that we can get the plastic production going much quicker, and everyone's going to benefit from that, which is really, really great news. All right, but all this takes time. You just said you've been working on this concept alone in the background. The team has been for 4 months itself. I mean, so there's always a lot going on. But it's not always we can disclose it until things are actually confirmed, of course.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, at the time that when we do the offering, of course, we'll make a more public announcement with DealBox together. We'll put together an announcement and announce it to the market. But all I wanted to say, I think at this point, is that we've engaged them as an advisor to undergo this offering for the U.S. market, and they'll help support us and be the platform for that particular raise. So very, very promising, but it'll probably take 6 to 8 weeks to get together the offering information. But things are moving forward quick.
Yeah, great. I just see Claudia brought up the certificates in the back office. So every Utopian Global, every store owner will actually have a certificate which allocates the number of store that they actually own, and this is actually dynamic. So if you bought a membership package today, you're upgraded, or you went in and bought store directly, this dynamic certificate will be updated to reflect the actual store that you own. Now, there's still a couple of changes to be made to this. Up on the top left-hand corner, it's not showing, the font's not showing there. You'll see your actual ID number of your account in the top left-hand side in that sort of window that's empty, and on the right-hand side, you'll have the number of store that's appearing there. But pretty much, this is fantastic to have. It's a certificate. It also shows that it's generational wealth. I mean, when you own store, you're not just owning a token, you're owning actually equity in a US company, which is backed up by a legal document produced in Houston, Texas, Ryan.
Yeah, that's it. You got it. Yeah, we wanted to, I mean, this is a relatively traditional investment, obviously, with, applying new technology to traditional sectors, but we're of course blockchain based, but at the end of the day, it's really equity in a company, and that's what we've created, and that's why you've push to have a share certificate, which is a traditional instrument, but that we've, tied to essentially the transactions on the blockchain. So, yeah, when you buy a token, you're buying a share in a Texas C corporation that owns all the assets currently under management.
Which of course is generational. Now I know you've got to head off shortly back to this meeting, but while Randall's there, would he have a few moments to maybe give us a bit of an update on the midstream operation and plastics?
He has taken off, unfortunately, so I will not be able to grab him on this call, but
maybe we can have Ryan
get him on the next one. What's that?
Maybe we can have you do a little bit of an update on the polystream to fuel the plastics. I know you've been working a lot on that as well.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, a lot of movement on that. We just got out of a meeting with a group on the midstream side, looking at making a couple of acquisitions. Love for STORh to be able to participate in that. We would be kind of a premier oil aggregator and processing facility if we could do that, and that would tie beautifully into our plastics to fuel initiative, which is of course enhanced by our ability and our access to markets. Right, so we could take what would be traditionally a discounted product, and we blend it with other crudes, which we do today, tens of thousands of barrels, and fetch a premium for it. And so anyway, yeah, that was what our meetings were about today. And of course, we're looking at a plant in the U.S. and we're looking at Central and South America as well. So things are still moving quite rapidly on that. I'm evaluating a few technologies, and it just so happens that Dealbox is also working with another company that is developing their own pyrolysis technology, their own plant. So I spoke with the CEO of that company the other day, and we were just briefly discussing a potential partnership, depending on how soon they would be able to get that type of plant to market. So they're developing a very efficient plastics to fuel or plastics to diesel type product. So a lot going on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a horrendous problem, global problem, and but I must say it's in the media so much now, this issue. I saw a documentary about Coca-Cola and the plastic issue in Africa. Of course, so this problem is one of the greatest opportunities for the timing to plug into. But I'm going to pass it over to Claudia. Maybe she's got some questions for you, Ryan, before you have to go back to this meeting.
I didn't have any questions for Ryan. I was actually going to proceed with the webinar and the updates which we have. But no, I mean, thanks. Great, Ryan. Of course, we're going to need you next week. I'm going to need you. I have some, serious investors as well to talk to you and do some contacts there. So stay tuned. Next Tuesday, I will need you. If I get some more questions coming here, I will either ping you or Bill will ping you, and because I know you need to leave now. But other than that, great. I mean, lots of great feedback from especially the certificate. Latin America really loved it. I know Africa loved it very much. And in 2 or 3 days, we are out on the road again. So looking forward to meet, of course, all those people. So thank you, Ryan, for all what.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Randall. I'll chat with you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Awesome. So let me just continue with some of the updates before we go and into the formal presentation, or at least the overview of the formal presentation. So as you see, we also added something new, and that is now you have everything in one step here. Verify your email address when you sign in, confirm your phone number, register your signature, upload your KYC, sign the PPM agreement. So you don't need to do all those separate signatures. It's all basically here step by step. You first do this, and then you have it with the KYC and the PPM automatically. So way more, let's say, intuitive for people. And once, of course, you have purchased STORh, and one, as you see there in this snapshot here, there's different purchases over here, obviously, and you see there where you can download those certificates we were just talking about, or recently showing to use under the bottom of STORh. There you can get it once, of course, you have entered your wallet once, of course, it is transferred. And this is how it looks like. And as Bill said, there's going to be some improvements to be made. Now, which is really important, and also was in the update note via email, that STORh tokens, of course, since 11th of April now, they are being processed to the Ethereum blockchain to ERC-223 approved wallets. Very important. So if you have Ethereum, but you don't necessarily have a MyEther wallet, MetaMask, Ledger, or Trezor, so you have whatever, some wallet, Ethereum wallet with an exchange, that is not the right wallet for, of course, to send the STORh token. It has to be a wallet which accepts ERC-223 tokens. Not every wallet accepts a ERC-223 token, okay? When we had already some people sending it wrongly. Unfortunately, there's nothing we really can do, because once they're gone, well, they're gone. They are in, and if, of course, you send it, let's say, I had some questions asked for Coinomi, for example. Well, they don't accept 223 ERC-223 token. Might be in the future, but not now. So meanwhile, you can enter any Ethereum address into the Utopian Global back office, and it might get approved. Well, Utopian Global doesn't know where you have that Ethereum address with, so which wallet you have it with. They cannot see that. They can only recognize it is an ERC-22. It's an Ethereum basically address. That's what they can recognize, but not what wallet. So not all wallets. Maybe Bill, you want to say something there, because this is a really sensitive issue.
No, I think you summarise it. I mean, I understand for people in this crypto space for the first time, it really is a bit complex and a bit discerning. So the best thing is to play it safe. So if you go to MyEther wallet or MetaMask, it's a very simple process to be able to set up an Ethereum wallet. We know that they accept the ERC-223 tokens. It's straightforward. The Ledger does now. That announcement only came out from Ledger last week, and we know that Trezor does as well, which is primarily a MyEther wallet anyway in that respect. So if you're going to use a third-party wallet provider, make sure that they accept the ERC or the ER20 Ethereum tokens. If they don't accept that, you won't see STORh on there. The other issue that comes up, of course, for people, think that your wallet is your bank account number or your IBAN number, and your code of access details is your PIN. Some people have been providing their wallets, but they don't keep the PIN. They don't keep their 12 words or keyword phrase or their password to the wallet. So once they're in there, I mean, we've got people who have done this. We don't have access to that unless you find your access data. That's where they'll stay. The good news is the way we've coded it with Utopian Global, and with the Ethereum 223, is that when distributions start to pay out, and they will pay out in the future, even though you can't access your wallet, you'll still be able to get paid out your distributions on your STORh module in Utopian Global. And we did that because people who want to own STORh have to be all KYC approved, of course. So where we are now, all development on the ERC-223 STORh token is not yet completed, because eventually you'll be able to, for the listing, of course, and also for paying out distributions, there has to be some development where we can track tokens. And I want to forward Claudia some of my STORh tokens, which I probably wouldn't, but if I did want to do that, it has to be a process for that to be able to take place, and the system needs to recognise that she's KYC approved and all those types of things to meet the anti-money laundering regulations, which is really exciting because it creates many more opportunities by meeting the law. So it is a bit complex there. There's some basics, so stick to these wallets and everything will be safe. Many people still need to, of course, do this. They're not aware that they have to do it, so you need to finish it off so we can get the actual tokens issued to you on the blockchain into your wallet. Back to you, Claudia.
Absolutely. Really, really important that you do that. So now let's get started with the normal presentation. I know some people are waiting for that because you may never heard a formal presentation. So let's just very quickly run through it. You already got some grasp because you already heard Ryan speak and Bill speak. But let's get started. So wealth and asset ownerships. of course, we always talk about different ways to generate income. In fact, there are 4 ways to generate income. One is, of course, being an employee. That means you have a job, you have no leverage, and of course, you know, time is money, meaning you have 24 hours time, like we all have, but of course you have a cap, so you can only make, of course, the amount of money in that time. And of course, being employee, there's no leverage, so the amount of active work determines the income. If self-employed, well, you own a job, right? You could be maybe a lawyer, you could be maybe a doctor, yes, you could maybe have your little shop, you maybe have a hair saloon or whatsoever. So you're self-employed, meaning when you are not there working and giving your labor, you probably have to close you, and that means you don't earn any income. So self-employed, there's no leverage. 95% of the population is there. The amount of active work, again, determines your income, just like the employee, and which you're trading your time for money. So those are the ways which, of course, we all need. We all need these people, and they are great, and those are great jobs, yet that's not going to be probably the way to make residual income, to have passive, to have cash flow coming in. These may not be the ways, even though they're great. But if you can find a way how you to move really from that quadrant to the right side and become a business owner, that's really what we do with Utopian Global, meaning you own a system. People work with you, and of course you get money for that. People working with you, so leverage of time, of money. Well, then obviously this is an amazing way to generate income, and this is really what we teach through Utopian Global, by owning a business which you can build literally all over the world, and you, from the marketing of the products and services, you're actually making money. Now, a lot of people have a paradigm about that, but yet, let's face it, if you go and buy something from Amazon, or you buy something in a shop, no matter where, there's always, of course, somehow this product has to be marketed, right? You buy a certain product in a shop. Why? Well, because you're looking for something like that, or you have seen it somehow in advertisement, etc., etc. That's why you use this brand, you buy this brand, you must have this brand, because it has been somehow presented or advertised to you. Now, where's most of the money always going? It's going to advertisement companies. Well, with our concept, and this is a concept, of course, of network marketing, you're going to get paid through marketing the products and services, meaning instead of course, Bill could have just very simple decided, so could Ryan, to employ a marketing agency, pay them the big dollars for promoting the products and services. And they, of course, make a lot of money, and not needing, of course, or not wanting, of course, you to pay the money to us, to all of us, basically. So with network marketing, the company decides, of course, that a lot of people marketing products and services, and it's not just one marketing agency, it's getting paid all the money for marketing the products and services. So a business owner, meaning you own a system, and through Utopian Global is, of course, you own a network marketing system, so that you can actually get paid through marketing the products and services. And why do you market the products and services? Because either you like the product and service, which should be the case, or you have been introduced and trust, you like the person, so you learn, you maybe know a lot about the company, and you really like the company, the vision, the purpose behind. So those are reasons why you want to market it, and why not doing that and actually making money with it. So this is a business owner, and of course investor. So once you start making money, once the cash flow is coming, well, then you can actually put it into things which do passively make you money. That could be, of course, different ways. It could be real estate, it could be assets. That's what we all about it. Assets, owning assets, and this is what STORh does. And this meaning making money working for you. Why? Well, because as you saw, maybe Billy, I want to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, just quickly, Claudia. I mean, primarily on the left side, you're trading your time for money, which I've done as well, okay? And in one sense, I still do part of that because I still work, of course, which I love to do. On the right-hand side, you're making money when you're asleep. That's why you want to do it. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or a bus driver, you're a teacher or a nurse. We all like to make money when we're sleeping. And that's really the ability that Utopian Global with STORh actually gives you. I mean, it's optional to be an affiliate, but if you do, it's a very, very powerful business model. And I've been involved in this industry. My first business I bought was traditional in 1986, but I was involved in multi-level marketing in the early 90s, as you know, Claudia. And people do have a paradigm regarding the system. That paradigm soonly dissipates once the money starts to come in. It shifts their paradigm completely. So money talks in that sense. It's a very powerful business model. If you want to get ahead in life, you've got to understand what this network marketing business, the ability to be able to leverage your income, how it works, because I just love this. When I was shown the numbers back in the early 1990s, and I owned 4 hotels in Australia, when I was shown the numbers how to leverage your time in multi-level marketing, I just got it. To me, it was a no-brainer. Even with Utopian Global, for 50 euros a month, just on our affiliate program, you're earning an international business that pays seamlessly globally. You're earning a real asset. You get 7 people in your organization, 7 people, 50 euros a month. It's nothing. It's less than a coffee a day. You've already cash flow positive. Duplicate that to a second level, you're making 4 or 5 times your money. To me, it's the best business you can be in. It's cash flow. You then take that cash flow and you buy real assets, gold and silver, as Claudia's been doing for the last 11 years. You compound your STORh by buying more STORh equity tokens, which are going to keep increasing in value. That's how you do it. Get the cash flow in for the affiliate program, convert it into real assets, and take some out yourself, some play money. That's I think, is also very, very important. It's important to take some profits out as well. A very powerful business model when you get it. I got it back in the 1990s. I've been involved with it ever since. It's worth taking the time to learn it.
Absolutely. I mean, network marketing is very powerful. Most people do actually marketing, they just don't get paid for. And that is the reality. I mean, you wear all those different brands and you proud yourself with it. Well, are you getting paid for wearing those brands? Probably not. So why not getting paid for? Pretty simple. So let's go into STORh. Again, STORh is really all about building value while doing good. Address, of course, energy consumption realities, which we know a reality is we still very much dependent on oil and gas. So we cannot deny that away. Of course, we all wished we have solar, we have wind, etc., and we don't need the oil and gas anymore yet. Well, what are the solar panels made from, or those wind panels, etc. Right? So it's still very much a reality, and of course, while this is reality, we have to look for the future. So and of course. This is where we have to also look into, or what we are looking, of course, into the plastic to fill, which Ryan was talking about it, but also into the mineral recovery. So mineral recovery, we know all those mines, gold mines, mineral mines, and we do need minerals for all kinds of stuff. For my phone, we need minerals, right? So all those abandoned mines or still active mines where, of course, they've used a lot of poison, a lot of chemicals, but imagine, of course, we can go in there, we can remediate, we can make it better, we can take still out the minerals which are existing in there, but actually doing good at the same time. This is all what STORh is about, building the bridge to a more sustainable future and therefore generate returns and drive growth for investors. And the foundation of STORh has been laid now, so we are now earning from that foundation already. So as you have seen on the previous slide, the Raccoon Bend Texas oil field, it has been purchased and since 1st of August actually generating income for STORh. And now we are looking into core projects, infrastructure and service-based projects, and then in the next step we're going to look for high growth mineral deployment and technology projects. This is the field we have been acquired, Texas oil producing field. It's a 5.6 acres field, 90 active active wells. Of course, as you saw, we're exploring more. We're using the earnings to reinvest in order to drill more, in order to, of course, add value to the project. Currently producing 800 barrels. We estimate after the drilling and the reinvestment, it could produce 1,000 barrels a day. Has a shelf life of 25 years plus. And then, of course, the polystream, which Ryan was mentioning, plastic to fuel processing. So he's, as he said, looking into different deals there. It's a huge, huge subject. We could speak hours on that, but so this is what we do. And then, of course, the mineral reclamation and remediation in Peru and Ecuador. Whilst Ecuador is more near-term, Peru is more long-term. The Ecuador projects alone has actually 1 to 7 million of ounces of gold still in there. So this one here, the numbers is more for the Peru project, the 1.133 kilogram of gold. But as you heard maybe on the prior webinars with Philip Judge, who is really looking after that one, with Robin Anthony Slaughter, they are the mineral division advisors. The Ecuador project has 1 to 7 million ounces. Now, can you imagine if gold goes to $10,000? Well, that's a good money. But really,
well, the truth is it doesn't have to be. The truth is it doesn't have to be successful. It's highly successful at current prices, and also not just the pricing, but also the cost of extracting it from the ground, which is relatively is a very strong margin there. Anyway, back to you, Claudia.
Actually, back to you, because this is your part, which is really the foundation why you did actually start Utopian Global.
Well, let's rock and roll through this, because I know we're getting on in time with our chat earlier. But this is how I was really introduced to Philip Judge. As I said earlier, I'd owned 4 hotels from 1986 until actually 2004 I sold the last one. But in 2003, I went to Switzerland, Zurich, Switzerland, to meet Philip Judge, who was a bullion banker, but also he owned and operated an energy fund. So he introduced me to precious metals. He introduced me to the world of energy fund. That's actually how I met Ryan Messer. I invested into the energy fund, but also in gold. It was the beginning of a bull market, a very strong bull market in precious metals. It started around 2001. I got involved 2003, 2004, when gold ran up from around 255 an ounce up to around 1,900 an ounce in 2011. And many experts say we're starting to come back into another extension of that bull market. Whether we are or we are not, it's yet to remain. But I buy gold and silver because it is actually an insurance policy. And what do I mean by that? Well, I did not understand gold when I met Philip Judge. In fact, I didn't own gold. He said to me, throughout history, rulers of empires, royalty, and the financial elite have always put a part of their paper wealth. They've turned part of this paper wealth, whether it's Swiss francs, US dollars, euros, Aussie dollars, part of this paper wealth, maybe 3% to 5% at that time, back in 2004, into tangible wealth such as gold. Why? Because it's highly liquid, but most importantly, because it has a store of value. What do I mean by that? Well, it says here on the left-hand side, 1 ounce of gold. Now here is 1 ounce of gold. It's 1 troy ounce, which is 31.1034 grams of pure gold. Okay. So back in Roman times, one of these could actually clothe you. You could buy a 3-piece suit. Actually, in Roman times, it would buy a toga and a pair of leather sandals. It would clothe the person. 100 years ago, Philip said to me, back in the 1920s, an ounce of gold was priced at $20.67. So I effectively could go into a Macy's store in New York in the 1920s, or any department store in the world, with an ounce of gold, and actually could clothe myself for a 3-piece suit, shirt and tie and leather shoes. Or I could do it for the equivalent of $20 US. I don't know if I've got one here, a bit of this paper. Actually, I do have. Because you've got to think about that. $20 back then would buy an ounce of gold. And I could actually buy myself a complete 3-piece suit, shirt and tie and leather shoes for $20 US, or the equivalent of an ounce of gold, because that would also buy that. See, this is a store of value. And his next question was to me, here we are in Zurich, what could you do with the $20 today, Bill? Now this is, mind you, this is 2004. And I said, Philip, we just came from having coffee and cake in downtown Zurich, and that costs pretty much the equivalent of one of these, $20. Now in Zurich, probably gives you 3 cappuccinos, no change. But the same ounce of gold, as it was thousands of years ago, as it was 100 years ago, as it is today in any part of the world. Exchange to any currency is still going to give you a nice bag of fruit, a three-piece suit, shirt and tie, and leather shoes, or the women could go out and buy a beautiful outfit for an ounce of gold in that particular currency. It is a store of value. That was the aha lesson that I got from that meeting in 2004, and that's why I've been involved with it ever since, because I see it as a store of value, a store of wealth. It is wealth preservation. It was a game changer for me when it came to building wealth and building assets. And of course, at the same time, I was introduced to, of course, the energy fund where I met Ryan Messer in America in 2004 and his team, which I invested in. And some years later, I know that you invested in wealth as well, Claudia. Precious metals is thinking outside the bank. Money is debt. This stuff, paper, doesn't matter what color it is, where it's coming from, it's debt. It's gold. When you have that, it's unencumbered. There's no debt on this. You own this. This is pure wealth. It's a store of value for what's there. And not when it comes to government currencies. You can, with Utopian Global, with our platform, you can actually save in precious metals from as little as 25 euros per month. I mean, that's not much at all, less than €1 a day. You can actually save in precious metals. Convert this paper stuff into real tangible stuff. You have 24/7 access to that. We actually deliver to you. It's produced at the Argo Horizon refinery in Switzerland. And as you can see on here, it says Argo Horizon, so I think you can see that. It also has the assaying on there. The assaying to its purity, 99.9 pure. Also to its weight, 31.1034 grams, 1.03 grams. So it's certified to the highest level. And Argo Horizon is one of 5 refineries in the world which is recognized as a referee refiner, meaning it actually certifies other producers. I don't get to play with your gold. None of our team gets to play with gold. It comes when you order gold. It's purchased from the refinery. It's stored at the Loomis, which is a good delivery storage facility, either in Dubai. Most of it's actually in Zurich. People can collect it there. We can physically ship it to countries as well. And if you want to sell back, it's very simple. If you want to turn your gold, which is wealth preservation, an insurance policy, back to some of this liquid paper because we need to pay bills. Maybe, you know, when you want to do a trip, maybe a car's broken down, you have unexpected bills to pay, you need to liquidate a bit of your gold. That's why we have insurance policies, don't we? To use it at a time of need. Well, you can liquidate that, and within the next London bullion market sellback price, that is what you get, and generally within 24 to 48 hours, the money is back in your nominated account, whether it be Bitcoin or whether it's a bank account. So it's a very liquid, easy system to operate with.
Absolutely, Bill. It totally is. Yes, that's you. Because, yeah, of course. So who is behind, obviously, Utopian Global? That is you. You are the founder, and who is behind STORh? Well, it's Ryan Messer, which you have heard.
Let me just touch on this a bit, Claudia, quickly, if you don't mind, for people on the call for the first time. I mean, I'd said before in the call I met Ryan back in 2004, and that is true. So we've had a business relationship for what 15, 16 years, a strong business relationship. And when I met Philip Judge at the meeting at the Grant Thornton Accountant's office in Zurich, where he introduced me to the world of gold, which I learned about, which I just shared with you, he also introduced me to the energy fund. As a result of that meeting, I sold my last hotel. I want to take some of that hard-earned cash and profits to reinvest. I want the money working for me. So, you know, I wanted to have some chill out time, so I wanted to have some good returns. So I invested in this energy fund, and I know some people on this call's parents. Hi Shirley, I see you're on the call from Queensland, Australia. Also invested in that particular fund. Well, I invested in this particular fund, but before I did, I can assure you I did my due diligence, and you should do your due diligence regarding myself, regarding Ryan Messer. You should read the white paper. You should see who we are, and what we're doing here. You should understand what you're buying. Before I put a cent in with Ryan and the energy fund, Philip Judge, I flew to America. I walked across the sites. I met the team. I met the engineers. I met the geologists. I saw who had skin in the game. Who else is involved in this? You know, I actually put $1 million Australian dollars into it. It was about 840 to 860,000 American dollars at the time. I put a lot of money in it. It was giving a good return. I wanted my money working for me. So I can assure you I did my due diligence, and you should do that whether you're buying a 99 euro package or whether you're putting 200,000 euro into STORh. Ask the questions. Who is this? What is this? What is their history? You know, it's your responsibility to do that. But I can tell you one thing about Ryan and the team, and Randall Eddington, who heads up the midstream. Solid, highly skilled in their profession, very passionate about their profession, and as I've done before, I'm putting my wealth with them, and I'm doing it now. And it's just great to be involved and engaged with this team. And I think people who have met Ryan, and I know he met some people up in Brussels and Belgium over the weekend, I think you would agree that he you know, totally transparent. What you see is what you get. Very smart, and explains things very clearly. What his role is as the CEO of STORh and where we're heading as a company, which benefits all of us as STORh owners. Back to you, Claudia.
Absolutely, and I have 4 minutes to finish the presentation here, so thank you for this great insight. Well, it's all about boosting your income, of course, and building your future. And this is what you, as an affiliate member, you actually receive: access to the Swiss LBMA certified gold or silver at wholesale prices, access to the storage facility, which is, of course, the precious metals vaulting, having fully insured shipments delivered to your door if we can deliver to your country, and quick and easy liquidation with 0 fees, which is really, really important. I was just hanging up on a call with my aunt, and I messaged you that example, and she had put 10,000 euros 5 years ago on a fixed term deposit in Germany. And coming, of course, from the East, you know, we still have this mindset of, you know, you put your money in the bank and you save, and you put it on a fixed term deposit in order, you know, then later to receive something. Well, after 5 years of having put her money in, she received a staggering 13 euros. 10,000 euro put for 5 years. She received 13 euros. That's what she received. But now if she wanted to put it again on a fixed term deposit, she would have to pay in commissions and fees already, even before she puts it back, 500 euros to the bank. That the bank actually stores her money. So
just on that, Claudia, I mean, this is a real example that most people don't get. I mean, negative interest rates are around the world right now. I mean, no question about that. When you put your money, first of all, when you put the stuff in the bank, you don't earn it at all anymore. The bank, you become a creditor to the bank. Number two is they're going to charge you for actually putting it, for holding it onto you. There's no return. So people who are retirees right now, you're getting no return on your labor. For your savings, you're being penalized for saving. It's a tough game. You've got to think outside the bank. You've got to diversify. You've got to be involved with real companies that own real assets. They're going to be you're going to be able to win from. I can talk all night about this. I'm passionate about this. This is why we do this. This is something I also had to learn many years ago.
Absolutely, and I just heard it today, this in the news, so I thought it's worthwhile mentioning actually on the call, because it's just crazy. So building your business, multiple ways to earn. You see, first, invest in the Utopian Global Eco System and products. That's your first step. Commit to a 50 per month euro wealth accumulation plan. This is actually accumulation of wealth. Why? Because you own either STORh if you are outside the United States, or you own and you accumulate precious metals if you're in the United States. And free earn on the capital growth of STORh equity token, as you did here. Ryan speak. He expects at least on the listings to have a 5x on it, and in the future, of course, then later on earn quarterly rewards from the profits generated by the assets owned by STORh. So this is what we do, and of course increase your earning power when you share it. So when you recommend, you then can earn one-time cash bonuses on the sale of the membership packages. You can earn one-time bonuses on the sale of precious metals, qualify for incentives including luxury travels, etc. Earn residual income, commissions and bonuses from the customers and the affiliates of the team you build. As a customer, it's pretty simple. You can start from as little as €50. Simple to register, complete the KYC PPM, go to the person who recommended you to Utopian Global, obviously, and start your purchase. And as an affiliate member, you can start from as little as €99. Again, in order to stay active as a member, you have to commit to a monthly renewal plan of a €50 wealth accumulation plan. Well, share the message and make some money. The different affiliate member packages, they range from €99 up to 3,500. Those are called the premium packages. As you see, the basic plus member, elite, pro, outstar. And as we mentioned in the call, the token price is going to increase. Therefore, if you purchase in October then, because until the 30th of September. So from 1st of October then, you will get in each package less tokens than you get now. You get 20% less, in fact. Because the price has increased because of the trillings. So at the moment, those are the amounts of stores you get if you purchase these packages, and this will be less once, of course, we coming into October. Then we have here the quantum level packages. The quantum level packages, they start at 9,000 euros up to €1 million or higher. You see here the amount of store tokens which are in these packages. And again, these will also be reduced once we increase the price to another 20%. What can you earn on that? Well, there's different ways to make money. In fact, 6 different ways. I'm going to just talk about one. That's the fast start referral commissions. Every time you refer somebody to a €99 package, you get €37 in commissions. Every time you refer somebody into a 3,500 package, you get €998 in commissions. And that is going to be paid into your e-wallet. You can then withdraw it either by Bitcoin, bank wire, or you can purchase gold or silver or more store. You see here the commissions on the quantum level packages, so the higher packages. Again, those commissions, obviously, they are paid once. So once you actually refer somebody with a 9K package, in this case here. Important notice, of course, as per terms and conditions, the store token is not licensed for distribution in the United States of America. As a result, it may not be offered, sold, or delivered there. You heard Ryan talking today about the Reg D, the Regulation D, with a deal box. So that is for institutional investors in the United States. That's not for small investors, so that's a different scenario. But for Utopian Global affiliates, small investors, of course, this is not possible at the moment. Also, there's no guarantee that you will earn any money using the techniques and ideas displayed in terms, of course, of the marketing, because I don't know how good you can actually share the message. You certainly can learn it. Everybody can learn it. But of course, I don't know what you do. If you never talk to anybody and you expect a commission from sharing, well, it's probably not being the case. If you share it, well, I know you're going to get paid. That's just the way it is. But again, these materials are not to be interpreted as a promise and a guarantee of earnings or perpetuating this financial advice. We're not financial advisors. Entry into the Utopian Global affiliate system is covered by a 14 days money back guarantee. Ready to join? Well, talk to the person who referred you to this presentation, request the store white paper, ask for detail on the compensation plan, contact the person who invited you to the presentation, and or come to visit us on our upcoming tour. We're going to be in Africa. It's in fact we're flying out on Thursday. We're going to be on the 13th to 16th in Nairobi, Kenya. There's lots of meetings planned there. 18th of September, 19th of September, there are going to be meetings in Kampala, Uganda, and in Mukono, Uganda. There will be morning meetings as well as evening meetings. On the 21st of September, we have a Durban, South Africa event. Very much looking forward for South Africa, my first time as well, first time to Uganda. And on the 24th of September, we go to Johannesburg, South Africa, where our leaders, Sis, Will, and Cynthia, are actually preparing the event. Congratulations to your birthday today, Sis, Will, if you're on the call. Fantastic job you are doing. But again, great to see all of you guys there on the tour. If you have people, invite people, come to meet us, learn about our project. And with that, I want to close this presentation. We have gone 5 minutes overdue. I'm going to go on a Facebook Live in Spanish now. So I got to rush. Thank you, Bill. And I see you on the next presentation.
Thanks, Claudia. Thanks, everyone. And we'll see everyone in our African tour.